All right, hello there. Today is an organization day where I double check my eBay, alphabetize some slabs, and make sure prices are up to date and good to go. So unfortunately for you, you can see my hands, my beautiful hands. I won't be showing the screen, but I'll be showing you, what I'm looking up, what I'm putting away, what I'm alphabetizing, and hopefully it's chill and you can enjoy myself just talking to myself for the next little bit. I got a lot of love and engagement on the previous upload. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that. I think I've said this before. The channel's been around since 2009 or something. I haven't really uploaded seriously in 10 plus years. And so it's amazing to me how the subscriber count is still high and, the people can see the uploads and people are coming. So I appreciate the love. Any comments, questions, hit me up anytime. I love just engaging with people where I can. So let's get started. I'm going to be going through my slabs. Actually, I want to keep this on. Every single one. Let's see, what's the best way of doing this? And just checking the prices. Checking what I have them listed at. And making sure they are in a position to sell. I vended a show recently. This needs to be listed, actually. And I wasn't able to keep up with the sales and my eBay, and so my inventory is kind of a mess. Thankfully, I haven't really had orders come in from people who are, buying things that I've already sold. So at least that works out for me. Today, I just wanted to kind of ramble a bit. I like to see him. And talk about, why I'm deciding to make content again in this day and age. And kind of rant a bit about, the current content ecosystem. I love this card so much. I'm sad it got a 9. I'm pretty sure if I cracked it... Hold on, let me get this light down here more. Pretty sure if I cracked it, it would probably get a 10. But middle era stuff, it is not a good idea to chase a 10 or recrack and get a 10 because this stuff in a 9 sells for sub 50, sub $70. Very rarely does it sell for 100 plus. And so, yeah, not a good idea to crack. Altaria. Yeah, I just want to talk about content a bit. Why I'm deciding to record. Maybe talk about the cards business and, just kind of ramble a bit. Let's see, Altaria. For me, my wife let me know the other day, or she said to me the other day, hey, why don't you record yourself opening up cards and doing the work that you do? And at first, I obviously thought that was ridiculous. But only because, look, I've been around in this space for so freaking long. I started uploading content to YouTube when I was 23. I'm 36 now, or 22. I'm 36 now. So I've been in this space for 14, 15 years. Look at half swirl. Another swirl. So I have a really different and, I guess, jaded opinion on the value of content and, should you upload and, times have changed. I'm a grumpy old man at this point. But, after talking with her, I think the key thing for me is I'm learning a lot about this business, about this community, I should say, even though for some reason the word community is kind of cringe for people. And I think it's helpful just to share thoughts and exchange notes and, just engage with people. I absolutely love this card. As much as you can. I consume a lot of content in my free time. I am constantly, on YouTube watching people watching different creators. I don't consume the whatnot stuff. I think that's not my cup of tea. And I think, there's a lot of content out there, but one thing I've learned is you can always learn something from everyone. When people say who are the experts in the space, I think one thing to keep in mind is that anyone is able to learn. The experts in the space, it might seem like there's a lot of information that's gated or, you have to be in the know. But honestly, like when I got back in the hobby 4 or 5 years ago at this point, I picked up a lot of the principles and, tenets and that kind of stuff real quickly, right? And I watched literally everyone under the sun who, had something to say, because I think part of this is forming your own opinion, which these days, I don't think a lot of people do that. Part of this is just hearing what everyone has to say and then forming your own opinion based on what you hear. Obviously, though, a big part of that is backing what people say up with data. And one thing that you will find is not a lot of people know how to interpret data, or not a lot of people have data. It's kind of a problem. So anyway, my point is that there's so much you can learn from the average collector, the average seller, and that the gurus aren't really, I think they're not on as high of a pedestal, or they shouldn't be put on a pedestal. I think everyone can learn, everyone can thrive to be a master and be knowledgeable, especially with cards, and it's never too late. So for me, again, uploading, I need to post this. I'm just marking this later to post so I can show off more cards. Making content, it's about learning. It's about sharing ideas. It's about getting better. And, I'm not going to say I know everything, but I think I'm going to continue to be a student and learn and absorb and participate as much as I can. For me these days, this is probably priced too high. I have this price at $40. I don't think I've sold one yet. Let me see. For me, I kind of had to make a conscious choice. Like, do I want to produce content? Do I want to consume content? And how do I balance that with, formerly my hobby of playing video games and being able to play with my cards and, that kind of stuff. And I kind of made the conscious decision a while ago. Okay, last time I sold this, I'm asking 40. Last time I sold it, it sold for 22. So that's not good. I told myself when I got back into the hobby that I'm just going to be a heavy participant and support as many creators as I can. I think if you're on the fences of like how to get involved with the community, supporting content creators is what you can do. It's low-hanging fruit. Subscribe, watch, like, comment. Those things really help creators. And, I pride myself in being an active member where I can, because it is a way to show support and give back. But now, 4 or 5 years later, I think I've gotten to a point where I think I have a little bit more to say, but I also want to engage more with people to have that dialogue, to learn. Recently, $85, this is probably too cheap. Let's look it up. Recently, I decided to be a vendor at a local show. I bumped into someone in one of the Discords I was in, and, I said, hey, what does it take to vend? And they quickly convinced me, shout out to Cal. Hey, you should totally vend. It's not that much work. It's, the next show's one day. I decided to vend for one day. Sold a lot, which obviously helps. Let's see. Let's lower this price. I have it listed at 105. I'm going to list it lower to 94.95. He convinced me. It went well. I sold a bunch. Met a lot of cool people. Now I'm committed again to vend again. at the beginning of April. With my family situation, and my wife and I have this understanding that we both want to have at least one day a month where we can do whatever we want to do, and the other person figures out how to watch the baby and take care of the household. And so I'm using my free time, as to vent and to further feed this cards business. I don't like saying cards business, to be honest with you. So that's me, with content these days. Everything I'm doing now, all this stuff, I'm just recording what I would normally do. And then also talking to myself, which, that's always fun. Dark Rye. So hopefully you learned a thing or two. Hopefully you can engage with me. Hopefully I learn a couple things from you as I continue to post content. And, again, I think there's so much in the hobby that I have this listed at 48. Last sold's 45. I'll do 41. There's so much to learn in the hobby that I feel like if you think you know everything, you really don't. There's no one who's a master of Japanese and modern and graded and simplified Chinese and trophy, there's so much depth. This hobby has so much depth to the point where you can actually have analysis paralysis where you're like, I don't know what I actually want to focus in on. My business, how I generate revenue, I'm 95% Japanese collector. Love Japanese stuff. And the history in that, Deoxys. Back in 2020, when the boom was going on, and I had spent too much money to mention. This is not selling at 30. This is listed at 38. Last sold 32. I spent a ton of money on modern. Packs on packs on packs. Cases of booster boxes. I ripped 2 cases of Vivid Voltage, hundreds of packs of Darkness Ablaze, hundreds of packs of Rebel Clash, 100 packs of Sword and Shield base. And I really had no idea what I was doing. I came in and just was trying to relive my childhood where, we didn't grow up poor, but my parents are, first generation immigrants. They took on a lot of debt to raise us. And part of that, I'm not just trying to explain, if you live in a household that has a lot of debt, in a lot of ways, it's like having no to little income. You're constantly behind. You're constantly trying to figure out what you should buy. When are you going to pay certain bills? And for us, my parents, gave us a lot, but we also didn't have that much income to spend on, fun stuff. Well, I guess by fun stuff, I mean, for me, it would be cards. They bought us Super Nintendo with their hard-earned paychecks, and my oldest brother got us N64. But those things we got those once a year, or once every 6 months, or whatever it was. So I kind of grew up a little bit, I don't like saying this, deprived. I'll say it. And, I've always had this hunger to I want to go back and relive my memories of Pokemon. So as I got, many people, as we became adults and we had more disposable income, I was in a good position in my job. Everything was great. COVID hit, and I had just a ton of income that I didn't have millions of dollars or anything like that, but I was just sitting on money, and a lot of the people, we were just trying to figure out what we can do. And when the boom happened, it sucked me back in as if I was a 5-year-old kid. I would buy literally everything under the sun, and a lot of stuff I purchased obviously, has gone up in value. But I was just ripping so much modern. It was disgusting. So much modern to the point where I gave away probably tens of thousands of bulk before I realized you could actually sell it, because I was that much of a noob back in the day. Elisa Sparkle Japanese. So I want to comp this at a PSA 10. I'm pretty sure raw I bought one of these back in the day in Japan for like $250. A PSA 10 is selling for 90. There's a 90, a 51, oh, Jesus, a 75, a 210. That's definitely probably a shill bid. 100, 99. Okay, so let's just say 90. If you know Hills Wholesale Gaming, I still think they're just such an awesome website, awesome company. They have like a 1990s style website, totally just like old school. They sell a ton of product, and I spent a ton of money on their stuff because at the time it was actually really cheap. I could buy sleeved team up booster packs, ones with the Pikachu and Miku promo on them, or I could buy loose packs. So the team up ones I bought for like $5 each, and I bought maybe like 50 of them. I could buy loose Darkness Ablaze packs. I think I bought 100 in that first lot, the first order. Lisa Sparkle PS BGS 9.5. So I hope that this BGS 9.5 actually fetches a PSA 10 price, but we'll see. I opened up 100 packs. I pulled 3 of the Zard VMAX that no one wants these days. But I pulled 3 in 100 packs, which essentially is getting 1 per booster box. And that fed the addiction from there. I was so hooked on opening product that V-Star Universe, that I just had an insatiable hunger from there on out. 1 second, I'm just secret rare. Is it secret rare? Yeah. I always forget. Secret rare, hyper rare. I never remember these things. Over time, though, I think what I learned very quickly is EV, expected value. Opening up stuff is definitely the way to go if you want to just piss away money. But around that time, within the first year, I stumbled across some Japanese, and I forgot exactly why I bought it. I had some memories as a kid, seeing the old backs of, some Japanese cards that says Pocket Monsters, and I always thought it was cool how they would use Japanese for the card front and then English for the back. I forgot which set I bought. Maybe it was like Dream League? Yeah, maybe it was Dream League. So this card, PSA still has not responded to me. They damaged it. You see that? During the greeting. I sent them 2 emails. I haven't called because I just, kind of sad. What should be a $450 card is, $150 to $200. Maybe another time. So I believe I opened Dream League, and I just remember, because me and my buddy had split a Cosmic Eclipse booster box. It was disappointing. I forgot what we pulled. But I remember looking at the character rares. And the character rares in Dream League compared to English, in Japanese, they look flawless. The centering, maybe I have one here somewhere. Probably in the collection somewhere. The centering, the print quality, just the edges, the bordering, the backside's like nice and just clean. And then English, it's like the print quality, the edges, the centering, like the texture looks somewhat similar, but I just remember the print quality just really turned me off. And, I think I was trying to apply principles that I learned about back in the day. This is 2020, so bear with me. Okay, so what would be a good buy for me now? Within 5 years, it's going to go up in value. So I was always thinking about that, right? And I would honestly say, I would love to say I was super smart and knew exactly what I was doing. I honestly got really lucky that the Japanese stuff took off in the way that it did. Back then, so when I realized that Japanese was better print quality and it was cheaper, I made the call. I bought 2 or 3 cases of Dream League, so I think between 40 and 50 booster boxes total. Sorry, not sealed cases, but cases worth. I bought 15, I think, of Double Blaze. I bought 20 Tag Team GX. Tag Team All-Star GX, which is a phenomenal set. I opened a bunch of them. I pulled 2. I think I pulled 3 gold cards. Actually, let me show you. I pulled 2 of these and one of, it's not listed, one of the Garchomp and Giratinas. Shiny Star V, and Tag Team All Stars was $60, I think, at that time, $55, and on Amazon Japan. Shiny Star V was, I think this when it first came out, so it was actually a little bit more expensive at like 60 to 70. But all the other booster boxes, Dream League, Double Blaze, I got them at like $41. I still have the receipt. And I bought them. I opened up a bunch and then stopped, because that's not how you retain value for these things. So Flygon. I had this listed at 80. Kind of a lot. I have this listed at 80. It has like 10 views. That's how abysmal some of these card values are. They don't get a lot of hits, which probably is why they don't sell well. But if people don't know about it, they're not going to buy it. People don't buy it, and there's not strong price history. If there's not strong price history, no one's going to. There's no demand for it. So yeah, I sat on a lot of that Japanese product. I bought up a ton of Japanese singles just to fill out my binder and just to have. And that's when it really took off for me. I think in the next year or two, you started to see Japanese go up slowly. Japanese Sun and Moon. I have this listed for 80. I think last sold's 80. And it just started to take off, and that's where a lot of my collection grew. A lot of the value that I have grew. It grew because Japanese was, for whatever reason, started to become that hot next thing. Next thing you know, last summer, which was the peak, I would say, for a lot of the Japanese boom, I was selling those Dream League boxes for, I think I sold 4 at like 700, which is, 20, almost 20x, 18x. Okay, I gotta look up this one. I swear when I listed this, I listed it for 80. I swear when I listed it, it was listed at a price where I was like, someone has this for 50. Well, this one I'm just going to hold on to and lower the price a little bit. So there's a low list of 50 and a 10. Mine's 80. There's 100. That's basically it. So this is one where I'm just going to wait it out. I'll lower the price a little bit, 10, 15%. But to me, it's not worth trying to compete with someone who's just trying to liquidate it. This card is not a $50 card. That's how I think about it. So yeah, most of my business and my collection was during this Japanese boom in 4 or 5 years ago. A lot of the value I got came from that. A lot of the value I created. And, I think in terms of why am I specializing in Japanese, I just think they're better quality cards. And it's turning out that some of them are much more rare. Not necessarily much more scarce, but just the print quality and finding some of them and just the value. And I just love that aspect of these Japanese cards. Midera, I probably like the most. I don't have a lot of vintage. I have a handful of E-Series cards, but Rocket, Base, Jungle Fossil. Base, Jungle Fossil actually are my least favorite sets, even though I grew up with them. I'm a really big fan of Midera, some Sun and Moon, EX era, Ruby, Sapphire, those ones. And currently I'm working on primes. Let me show this real quick. So I have some primes lined up. Oh, not primes. Jesus. Yes, primes. Level X's. I like level X's. I'm starting to work on them. I'm going to complete the entire set. They're super cheap, so why not? Gyarados. I got this from my Secret Santa a few years back. I remember seeing it and I was so confused. Like, why is this well-centered card being sent to me? Shout out to Sonar, a true homie. I graded it a few years later and bam, I got a 10. I have it listed at 150. Last solds are $130, so I'll lower it a little bit. But yeah, this has been my journey so far. Hopefully what you hear is interesting, intrigues you. Oh, last sold was $72. I will lower this to 124. Someone is definitely going to offer on that, and they're going to try to lowball me. Okay, let's put this up. I got this card at a show. At the show, I traded. This guy seemed really motivated to get rid of it. It's like a $30 card. Decided to help him out. I don't have a lot of cards in English from this era, so didn't cost me much to get it. Help a guy out. I think that's that's a big part of the hobby for me. There's so much opportunity, not just in making money, but also collaborating, helping each other out, being there for other people, and I truly like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that gets me motivated and inspired. And I came from a background of playing video games 24/7. I still love playing games. I think it's hard just physically to sit in a chair all day. It's also even more difficult with a baby. But the value, as I'm getting older, I'm constantly thinking about am I spending my time in a way that either generates value or I'm really happy with? And I think for me, with games, I have a really addictive personality. So this last sold for like 55. And I could easily sit down and play League of Legends for with friends who are on 5-stack, 6 to 8 hours easy. We used to do that actually when my wife was pregnant and then before. I had no self-control. And looking back, I actually really enjoyed that time. But what did I create? I created awesome experience, awesome memory with my friends, but I did that so many times and spent hundreds of hours doing that I'm getting older, and everything I do now, I want to think about longevity. I want to think about how does it improve myself. I want to think about how does it help me, help my family. And I guess this is my long-winded excuse of me saying cards are awesome. They're super productive, and I get a lot of value out of them. I think just building a business like this, building value, buying, selling, trading, there's a lot of objective, measurable, objective value that you get, right? Obviously, some of that's masked by how good does it make you feel, and the feelings you get. But year over year, last year, I hit 6 figures in sales, which I'm sharing that more and more because I think it's a nice thing for people to hear because it's definitely doable, obtainable, achievable. But I'm also just say that to reiterate to myself. Really, it's not about you guys; it's about me. Hey, man, what you're doing is awesome. Keep it up. Keep doing it, and keep kicking ass. And not, I'm not making really content for anyone first. It's really for myself. But that's just a nice reminder that like my hard work that I've put into this hobby is paying off, and I'm building this nice collection, or I'm building a lot of inventory and having a nice collection that I can look at, I can share, and most importantly, I can give it to my daughter one day. Hopefully she likes Pokemon. If she doesn't, we're gonna have a problem. And I think that for me, I love this card. I like how it's like this dark shade from above. For me, just having that legacy, and I was talking to a friend, who was looking for advice and help just about life, like what is life about? And the thing that I shared with him that I didn't realize I would say is, he was asking me, like, what do you live for? What's important to you? I thought it was going to be something career related, or maybe, something along those lines. But the first thing I said was legacy. Legacy for my daughter, for my family. And part of that definition for me is not career. I've done a lot of amazing things in my life. I've been very fortunate and blessed to be in a position where I got paid well. I've done amazing work. I've traveled the world. Let's see. Man, these are getting crushed. See, I had this listed at 64, which I remember at the time, 2 months ago or a month ago, I listed it. It was, actually I lied. I listed it, last full December was 53 and then 32. I listed this like 2 months ago, so let's just do $49.95. And I'm going on a tangent. I can't remember what I just said. Oh, I've traveled the world. I've been to Japan 4 times. I've been to a bunch of different countries for work. I've met a ton of amazing people. But for me, the itch is not working. It's not serving someone else. Big company stuff, I probably couldn't work at a big corporate company again. For me, it's, do I wake up every single day? Am I proud and excited just to get to work? Just to do I shouldn't say work. Just to live every single day. And cards, don't get me wrong, I still love games. I still keep up as much as I can. I watch content. But cards has struck this different, I don't know, this different feeling for me where I feel proud of the work I do. I'm excited for it. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of a chore when you're thinking about, shipping. There's not really a way to streamline that to make it easier unless you hire people or automate that rather. But every chance I get, every free hour, every free time I get to like get involved with the hobby, I absolutely love it. And the people I've met, things I've learned, like I feel like I could do this. Shining Mew. I feel like I could do this forever, but only as my hobby. That's a key differentiation there. I don't see myself being in a position where cards is my career. Part of that is because, dude, you have to make so much money. You have to sell so much in order to, be able to take home 6-7 figures in income, in profit, in income, to pay yourself. That just the thought of that, when I think about our expenses, I had this listed at 70, I just took it down to 60. Our expenses, our lifestyle, my wife, what does she like? What does she like buying? Our baby, future kids, going on vacation. I never want to... I look at this card. The reason why I bought this card back in the day, I love the art. It's Japanese exclusive. Ken Watanabe is an awesome actor. I love him in Inception and his other movies. I like having this card This is actually in my sell pile, but it shouldn't be. I like being able to appreciate and own this card and say, you know, even though this is probably, what? Lieutenant, Yoshida, promo, PSA 10. $80. Probably 60 to $80. Even though it's 60 to $80, I don't ever want to look at it and say, hey, you're 60 to $80. I need to sell you because I have a business to run. Granted, I do that with some cards, but if I ever treat the hobby as my full-time job and career, I will always be thinking about expenses, margin, you know, should I sell this to pay for that? And it's just like way too much. I like having to go at my own leisure and being able to just say, wow, look at this magneton that I got. It's from EX Fire Red Leaf Green. You know, I can appreciate it. You know what? Maybe I'll sell it for $50 because I'm done appreciating it. Or maybe, look at this holo. See that holo? And this is one of those rare cases where English holos are just... I want to be able to make that choice because it's deliberate and it's not forced, or it's not because of the pressures of I have to make money to pay the bills. And for me, I think as soon as it becomes that, then I think I'm going to lose all motivation and all inspiration in the hobby. So I like where I'm at, you know. I Mews Celebrations PSA 10. Did I list this? I seriously like where I'm at, and being able to take my time, you know, enjoy it, be in streams, not think about the business all the time, not think about flipping, not think about just really I say it again, deliberate and enjoy things. That's super important to me. New celebrations. Ooh, last sold $70. That's pretty good. Let's do that. So, you know, I mentioned a couple times, I've sold 6 figures worth. I don't imagine myself being able to sell 7 figures or, you know, high 6 figures with the same approach. I mean, I think I could definitely multiply that by a couple with my approach and how I'm like I like this, I want to sell that, you know. But I like the pace that I'm going. I think that's key if you're going to get into this hobby or whatever hobby that is like this. Don't feel like you need to run all the time. It's totally okay to be in a position where, you know, you just enjoy the process. You enjoy looking up cards. You enjoy looking at cards. You enjoy buying some things that you know, hey, that's probably like 5% margin, but you have a plan and a way to sell it. Like I buy stuff. This is not obviously great business advice, but I buy stuff that like I will probably make 5% or 10% margin, but I buy it because I want it in my collection, or I want to be able to see it and hold it for 30, 60, 90 a year, however many days, and just say, wow, I actually appreciate that. You know, here's a good example. I got this for cheap. Very cheap. I would say I got it for about half of what it's worth, what it recently sold for. I'm in love with this card right now. Japanese, Burning Shadows. You never hear about it. You never see it. The population's like 490 or 500, so it's not that low. But this set and this card, you never see. I actually, in person, I've never seen this, and I've gone to a lot of different shows. Online, you have to really dig and find this card. You'll see the English version every now and then. You'll see people, you know, trying to sell it. Japanese just doesn't happen. So when I saw the opportunity to get this, you know, granted it was for a good price, but I knew I had to get it just to admire it. And, you know, everything has a price. I'm not going to sell it tomorrow. But if someone came in and said, hey, I'll give you X amount for it, I would seriously consider it. But at least I can say, I can take pictures of it. I can share it. I can say, I had that card in my collection, or I had my card in my business. I love it. I love it. It was awesome. It was great. I like being able to do that with the things that I purchase. It's obviously not great business advice. I'm taking forever to post this Mew, by the way. It is not a great way to run a business, but for me, it is the way I'm choosing to run my business because it brings enjoyment and appreciation and keeps me feeling motivated, inspired, happy, and honestly just loving the hobby. Okay, this Mew, you need to get posted, dude. Okay, wow, this is a 40-minute video. So, let me pull something. Let me just share something with you guys real quick. This Mew, I'm going to sell it for $69.95. Wrap this video because it's been quite a bit. First, just want to say, if you're watching and you're from back in the day, welcome back. It's great to have you. If there's videos that you're rewatching now, or I just love to hear how have you been? What's going on in your life? Where were you then? Where were you at that point in your life? What were you doing? Where are you now? What's your favorite video? I love just being able to chat with people and engage with them. But I can't thank you all enough for watching these videos. This is just me doing what I normally would do. I think the first video I uploaded has 200 views already, which is pretty good for a dead channel. So yeah, I can't thank you all enough for the support. Let me pull one of these so we can look at. Let's appreciate Psychic King Alakazam. Breakthrough? Okay, I have to look this up. In Japanese, this is called Awakening Psychic King. See the Umbreon? What's funny is, back in the day when I first saw this card, I did not recognize that was an Umbreon. It wasn't until I got this card recently, or last couple months ago, that I fully realized that's an Umbreon. Just goes to show, when you actually look at cards and appreciate them, you can see the finer detail. Sorry, I have to look up what set this is from because it's driving me insane. Alakazam EX. Fates Collide XY. There's a first edition version, an unlimited version. First edition is far more popular. The booster box, last I checked, was more than 1,000, which is kind of ridiculous because this card is only $400, $500. I am an XY collector, XY era collector, and so although I have sold some of these before, my goal is to be able to keep these because I love the art. I think that's underappreciated, and yeah, great looking card altogether. All right, guys, thank you for watching. That's it for today. Hopefully you like this style of video. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. Catch you later. Peace.